everybody, it's Noreen here with a last minute installment of The Holidays Are Coming, and they're coming the day after tomorrow, well, the holiday. Tonight I'm getting ready to make some scones, some cranberry and white chocolate scones, and I'm going to give these to my neighbors as a Christmas gift tomorrow. And I thought, since I was doing it, I would show you how I do this. And what we're going to do is make mini scones tonight. And instead of making the full size, I'm going to cut them in half and make smaller versions, because I'm also giving them some spiced tea mix and some hot cocoa mix in a cone. And I'll show you that a little bit later. But let's see what goes into these first. In my mixer bowl, I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour, to which I am going to add the following ingredients. We're going to add some sugar. We're going to add, this is ½ cup of sugar. This is a ½ teaspoon of salt and 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 egg, 1/4 cup of milk, 1 stick of butter that's cubed and cold, 1 brick of cream cheese that is cold, and we'll break it up into the bowl in a minute. We're also going to add 1 cup each of white chocolate chips and dried cranberries. We're also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and this is the homemade vanilla that we've been working with, and ½ teaspoon of Fiori di Sicilia. Now, I get this from King Arthur flour, and it is the most amazing extract you will ever put your nose to. It's a combination of vanilla and orange and citrus. It's just incredible. You need a very, very little amount, and I will tell you, it is expensive. This bottle was $20, but I've had it for over a year, and you can kind of see how much I've used. Less than 1/4 of the bottle that I've used, because it's so powerful. You only need ½ teaspoon in this recipe. So we're going to brush the tops with some cream, and we're going to sprinkle it with crystal sugar, and we're going to bake them off. So let's see how this works. I'm going to add my sugar, and I'm going to add my baking powder and my salt in here. I'm going to put my beater blade in here. And I'm going to give it just a quick stir, just to get that combined. And excuse me 1 second while I let Princess Sophie outside. Okay, now where were we? No hubby smack tonight? He did it while I was gone. Okay, we're going to break up our butter cubes in here. I'm just going to pop these in the bowl, and they'll separate once they start mixing. Let me put my bowl down here real quick. And the cream cheese, I'm just going to break up with my fingers. There's no reason to get out a knife, because it's just going to get messy. And this is going to distribute fine. You just don't want to put the whole brick in there, because that'll cause a problem. And this way it'll distribute more evenly. What we're going to do is cut this in. Now, when I first made these, I thought, well, maybe I don't want to cut it in using the mixer, but it works so fabulously that I've never ever done it any other way since. Now I'm just going to put my mixer on a tube, and I'm going to let that go until it resembles coarse crumbs. You know, like when you make biscuits and you want to cut the shortening into the flour? This is basically what we're doing, because a scone is nothing more than a fancified biscuit. And while this is working, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to crack my egg into my milk. Okay, see? My hands are very clean. I'm not wasting that egg. What?
The borders too.
Yeah, and I just bleached my sink and my board today, so we're good to go, folks. Alright. And I have my fork out here. What?
Nobody's died yet.
Nobody's died yet, that's true. I put the egg in the milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and ½ teaspoon of Fiori di Sicilia, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. It smells like a creamsicle, is what it smells like. And it is so fantastic. We'll give that a quick whisk. And we'll come over here and look. Look, I want to just show you. This is exactly how you want it to look. Just like course meal. This is absolutely perfect.
Breadcrumbs.
It looks like breadcrumbs. Exactly. This is how you want it to look. I'm going to put my thing up here. Now, we add the egg, the milk, and the extracts in there. So I'm going to turn this on. Just until it comes together. Do not overmix it. I'm going to let it go another second. And right there, we're done. All right. Let me get all of this junk out of the way. Put my extract in my magic extract cupboard. Wipe this board off. Oh, I'm going to add in my chips and my cranberries. I'm going to give that a quick stir. Right there. We're good. Because you're going to need this in for just a second anyway. All right. Scrape off your beater. Perfect. I have some flour I set out here to have extra. And you'll have loose chips and loose cranberries. We're just going to kind of work those in by hand. Just kind of gather this all up and give it a few turns. Until this all sticks together. These are really delicious and they're a lovely gift because nobody, I don't know, maybe not many people make these for themselves, but I really, really like them. Last Christmas, I made my mother 16 batches of these scones to give to her co-workers. All right, now I have a cheat. This is a quarter size sheet pan. I'm just going to give this a quick spray. And I'm going to take this dough and I am going to roll it, kind of mash it into this pan evenly as possible. Cranberry overboard. And you'll just get it as even as you possibly can, because this, I'll show you what's going to happen. This makes it easier because then you're not rolling this with a rolling pin and trying to figure out how big you need to make it. This is how big you need to make it. Then we'll make sure we have enough flour on our board. Ta-da! Okay. Now, I'm going to get out my little pizza cutter here. And I'm going to eyeball halfway. And I'm going to chop it in half. And then I'm going to eyeball it into thirds. And get a chop there. And a chop there. Now, cut them into triangles like this. And this is how I would have them if they were going to be regular sized scones. But since we're going to do mini scones, I'm going to cut them in half this way also. Like that. Oh, I don't know how I did that one, but okay. And then this one. Fantastic. Now, I've got a regular size sheet pan here with a piece of parchment. And you just can set these out. These should all fit on here. And I don't know what I'm doing. Let's start this over again because I'm confusing myself. Can you tell it's been a long day? All right. You want to put a little space in between, like that much, because you don't want them to bake together. And that is why you need the larger pan. Boy, that thing doesn't want to get off of there. And, you know, put it on the pan however you want. This is how I do it. I tend to be a little particular and probably don't need to be. Because in the end, it's all good, right? I've never been good with that don't sweat the small stuff thing. It's a hard lesson for me in life to learn. I make a big deal out of everything. All right. Like so. Now, let's get this out of the way. I forgot to get my heavy cream out of the fridge. But no worries. Here we go. Get your pastry brush. And we're going to brush these generously on top of each one. And incidentally, you might like to know that I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees. And it's just about ready. So when these are ready, you're just going to pop them right in. The cream will help facilitate the tops of these becoming really beautiful. It forms a nice glaze for them. And because these are very short, meaning there's a lot of fat in them, this just adds to their richness. And the reason I chose to make mini scones is because it's Christmas and because I'm being a little bit lazy. These really are rich, and when you make the large ones, sometimes, you know, I have no problem eating a whole one, but sometimes a whole one can be a lot. And when you're going to have other things with it, and maybe you'd like to put these out on a tray to share with people who come to your house, so that's why I decided on the smaller ones. They really do make a beautiful presentation also. Okay, I probably used about a half a cup of milk, a little less than cream, a little less than that. And here we go with our crystal sugar, and I'm going to be very generous with this. You want the tops of these to just crunch when you bite into them. I know some of you out there are saying my teeth are hurting already.
Not something you eat every day.
And that's true. Rick just said it is not something you eat every day. These are a treat. And also, the original recipe for these comes from the King Arthur website. And they are called apricot cream cheese scones, because the original recipe calls for dried apricots, and I have made them with with apricots and white chocolate chips. The original recipe does not call for the chocolate chips, the white chocolate chips. I have also made these with pecans and chocolate chips. You could go so many different ways with these. All right, these are ready to pop in the oven. These are going to bake. You're not going to believe this. You're going to put them in the oven for 8 minutes. And then you're going to turn your oven off and leave the door closed, and you're going to continue to have them in there for 10 minutes. So I'm setting my timer for 8 minutes, and we'll be back when these are ready to come out of the oven. Okay, these have baked for 8 minutes and set in the oven for 8 additional minutes after I turned it off. And this is exactly what they're supposed to look like. Beautiful. Now I'm going to let these cool on the pan just for a few minutes before I move them. They smell really good, don't they? Because you don't want them to be too, you want them to firm up a little before you move them. And then we're going to let them cool completely, and I'm going to make up my neighbor's tins for Christmas. So, you all probably have everything you need to make this. It's Christmas time. I bet a few of you have some cream cheese in the refrigerator and some butter and flour and all the other stuff. You don't have to put anything in those. You put some raisins in it or whatever you have on hand. I hope you give this a try, and I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, Merry Christmas! Okay guys, it's the end of the evening, and I told you earlier I would show you the gift that I put together for my neighbors. And this is just a pretty tin. And then inside you can see cranberry white chocolate scones. I wrapped some parchment in here, and I put some of the scones that we made right in there. They fit nicely. I was trying to configure how they were going to fit in this tin, but they went all together really well. And then I just ran some cardstock through my printer with cranberry white chocolate scones. I put some adhesive on the back, and that'll stick down there. And then this I wanted to show you. This is how I packaged my hot chocolate. This is the hot cocoa mix that we made together, and this is a disposable pastry bag. And you can buy these. Let me grab them out of my cupboard because I'll show you how they come. This is how they come. They come in a box, and they come all attached together. And I think that this came. This is probably a bundle of 50 because I buy them 100 at a time, and they're good for more than just decorating with icing. You know, you go to the mall and you see those spiced nuts they sell in the mall, and they always put them in a cone, and this is the kind of bag they put them in. But anyway, the hot cocoa mix, a layer of mini chocolate chips, a layer of mini marshmallows. Some people like to put a layer of crushed candy canes or peppermint candies in there. I'm just going to go with the chips and the marshmallows today. And I made a little tag. Double chocolate hot cocoa mixed with marshmallows. Add a 1/4 cup of mix to 8 ounces of water for each serving. And you can see I kind of laid this in here. And this is our Russian tea. And I just put that in there with a little tag. 2 tablespoons of mix to 8 ounces of hot water. And I initially, see there's a little twisty tie there to hold the bag closed, and then I put the pretty ribbon. But I just wanted to share that with you, and then we're going to carry these over to our neighbors tomorrow. So that's it. I'll see you later.